Hi folks, welcome to another episode of NYC CNC. I'm super excited to share with you some pretty exciting news from Tormach, which is they have released their own controller called PathPilot. This will replace Mach 3 on both the PCNC mill, like the one you see behind me, and it's also the software that they use on the lathe. I've been using it for about a month. It's great. For those of you who have the lathe or have seen the lathe being used like on videos, it's actually the same thing. So the software, technically I think it was released today to the public, but in some respects it's already been out for the folks that have the lathe. Today should be Monday. I'm pre-recording this to release it as soon as Tormach lets me. But this Wednesday in 2 days will be the widget on the lathe where we make a part using the conversational code or conversational programming in PathPilot, and I was blown away. You'll see me in that widget. I'm super excited, and like really, I'm not making it up, and it's something I'm sort of conscious of and I've been thinking about since Tormach has been sponsoring these videos now. It costs me, yes, they sponsor them, which is something that helps me, but it also costs me some of my reputation, and it makes me less objective, and that's something that I've tried to balance, because at the end of the day, I'd like to have this YouTube channel for a long time, and hopefully Tormach is around and we're partners, but I can't ever sacrifice my word and the reputation I hope I've earned with you guys, so please trust that I'm being sincere in my message. And I'll be honest too, when Tormach called me a while back and said, you know, PathPilot, we'd like you to test it and so forth, my first thing I said is, why would I care? Mach works for me. Now, there is a whole can of worms that is Mach 3. And for those of you that spend time on the forums and internet where everyone is a hero, lots of people either dislike Mach or hate Mach. Now, I'm a little bit of an optimist, but I also would say I'm a realist, which is, for all you people that hate Mach, yes, it has its shortcomings, it has its physical and hardware and software limitations, and you know, there's been some unfortunate, I think, slow developments of Mach 4, but I would flip it around and say, wait a minute here. You know, I'm a success story. I started in my Manhattan bedroom apartment with a tag and Mach 3, which I think I paid $150 for the full version. I think the unlimited or the limited version that's free supports like 500 lines of G code. So for a lot of basic stuff, it would actually work. And that software has gotten me to where I am today. So part of me is like, you know, the people who hate Mach, I'm kind of like, you know, whatever. You keep hating Mach, I'm going to keep making parts and making money. But Tormach's point of view, and I've come to understand this as I've talked to them and I've used PathPilot, is they as a company don't want to be limited by software that they can't necessarily control or support or tweak. It's not their software. So part of the value of PathPilot is something that we will all benefit from, but we don't really care about, which is getting away from a Windows machine, it's Linux based, and using software that Tormach has spent, let me tell you folks, a lot of time and some pretty talented, sharp folks developing. I'm, you know, obviously one of the early users, and I haven't had any real hiccups to speak of, but I think it'll even get better as they continue to develop more. I'll talk about that in a second, but it is, I can see why. Put yourself in Tormach's shoes. You know, here now they get to control their destiny. They can control some of the interface stuff. There's a ton of technical stuff. I mean, this is pretty hardcore, and I'd love to talk about it, but the truth is I don't necessarily know or understand, and it kind of goes back to the last week's Wednesday widget about simple sprue, you know, making G code in 30 seconds. I am not in the business of, you know, being a master electrical engineer that can understand the stepper control motion and all the complex stuff that goes into a controller. And let me tell you, it is complex. And I've seen that lately as I've been looking at vertical machining centers, and you realize buying a 10 or 20-year-old machine that has an archaic controller makes, unfortunately, the iron in the machine itself pretty darn, I don't want to say limited, because everyone's going to jump down my throat and say you can make good parts with it. But let me tell you, spending some time with like one of those used Fidels or even older Haas's makes you really appreciate even a Mach 3 on a Tormach. You know, it's one of those things where, like, you know, 10 years ago, Mach still charged, or excuse me, Haas still charged, you know, thousands of dollars for like 8 megs more of RAM in the machine. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. So what PathPilot is it's software and hardware. So you'll actually replace the computer, and in that computer is a PCI card that has some dedicated hardware on it. But for what we care about, it is the software. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Sorry. The why should we care? And there are some nice things. What's awesome is that there were some glitches. I actually had a quirky glitch installing the automatic tool changer, which I'll do a video on here really soon, where you would hit like a soft limit in Mach that they couldn't override, and it would cause the Z axis to ref out, which is frustrating. And Tormach knew about it, and they probably are mad I'm even bringing this up. But it's one of those things where they're kind of like, we can't fix this because we don't have the ability to. And Mach was great. I mean, it was kind of a one-size-fits-all for everything from routers to machines to mills to plasmas, gantries, all that kind of stuff. But again, pretty cool. And I'll admit, I was surprised when Tormach said they had something new coming out and they wanted to talk about it. It's not exactly what I was expecting. So I think they have a couple of videos themselves coming out this week. They'll do a better job of going into some of the technical aspects of it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions. What I thought I would do today is just walk you guys through a couple of the screenshots, since it is the new day out, and hopefully that'll just get some excitement built up around it. And hopefully you guys can either send questions in my way and I'll try to get them answered, or stay tuned for more information from either from me or from Tormach on it. So let's take a quick look. Okay, so here's the main screen. One of the first things that I noticed when you load a program is you've got some nice dimensions shown, which I thought, well, that's pretty handy. You guys have heard me talk about in my videos, a lot of times I will try to idiot proof or error check stuff. Sanity check, I think, is the term I use. So I thought that's pretty nice. The toolpath views themselves, I think, are already a bit better. And again, I really don't have an interest in trashing Mach, but you look at this and you realize this makes more sense. That was a helical interpolation on a spiral into a pocket, and the drilling is better. You can rotate through the views. You have a cycle time preview here in the right. A lot of this stuff is pretty obvious. I'm not going to bore you guys. You guys know that I hate videos that are dull and slow. One of the things I don't like, but I'm not sure I'm going to prevail on getting them to change it, is you have to click here to jog in increments. That actually is quite similar to what you see in vertical machining centers. So like now I'm in jogging 1,000 steps, 10,000 steps, and then to go back to regular jog, you click down here. I hate having to take my hands off the keyboard and use the mouse, so I'm trying to figure out if there's a keyboard shortcut or if they'll put one in to let me, just like Shift lets you rapid. Control used to let you jog in your own increments. Stopping the spindle forward. In the file, it's actually nice when you plug a thumbstick in, it pulls up files on the thumbstick right here. You copy them over. They don't want you running code off a USB stick. So once it's on the computer, you can run it. Preview right here. Editing, the G-code editor has been great. I've already used it a few times to tweak some things. And settings, typical setting type of stuff. That is one of the big things. And again, I don't want to overspeak about topics I'm not familiar with, but one of the things I think was a big limitation in Mach 3 was, well, actually a few things. Soft limits that really worked, cutter comp and tool wear offset. And my understanding is that's one of the big advantages of PathPilot that the users are going to care about, is the ability to have professional grade features like that actually work. You can actually trust. So more to come on that. Again, I don't want to run my mouth on things I don't know about. Obviously, it's a little bit customized to Tormach, which is fine. I like the offsets. I like that you don't have to open a window. I didn't like that in Mach. You always had to scroll down. If I leave it on tool 70 up here and I go and I come back, boom, you're still at 70. I want them to leave the headers at the top, so as you scroll down you can see what exactly is what, diameter and height. Conversational, stay tuned folks this Wednesday for the conversational on the lathe. It is phenomenal and it's very useful, given I think lathe work is more predisposed to conversational. However, it should be great for the mill as well, and I have not spent a lot of time on it, so I won't talk too much about it other than to say they should work great. Thread milling should be great. So give me a chance to do more on that, but I know it's something that they'll be pushing a lot for folks that want to either avoid CAM or just want to do some quick ops at the machine. Probe is probe. I actually need to do a video on the passive probe that I've got. The tool changer works great, not too dissimilar from the Mach style. I will do a video soon on my tool changer for the folks that want to see it. And then status is just typical status type stuff. So that's a very quick look. It's worked great. I've been happy with it so far. And again, in some respects, it's not the sexiest thing because people love machines and equipment, but it is interesting and certainly says a lot about Tormach's willingness to put the resources into developing something that will let them sort of control their destiny in the future and hopefully hopefully put out a machine that is even more robust. So with that, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this little sneak peek preview of PathPilot. If you guys have questions, let me know below. I'll try to see if I can answer them or get them answered. Otherwise, stay tuned this Wednesday for the first Wednesday widget on making a customer part on the lathe.